The Phoenix Suns have officially made the NBA Cup, the in-season tournament, the Emirates Trophy, whatever you want to call it, Sundo. They're in. They're going to Vegas. I can't believe it. You low-key almost predicted it, so shout out to you and everybody that was with Sundo on the glass half full side of the crowd for this Suns season, at least, early on. The Suns had a difficult, I would say difficult Sundo cup group. And like you pointed out at the end of our last stream, they got that, I want to say lucky game winner, but game winner from Colin Gillespie that ended up being the difference because they had gotten such a good point differential versus Utah. Some people in the chat of the live stream are saying, oh, well, this isn't a good thing because we have to play. Okay, it's a great thing. It pushes towards winning culture. I know the NBA Cup isn't the actual title, but it's something, Sundo, and we made it, and we're here, and we are clawing and earning our respect back.
What I like about these cup games that we played so far is that we took care of who we needed to take care of. We beat the Jazz big, and then we played closely. We need to play close. And as you mentioned, that Timberwolves game, you say luck. I don't say it's luck because there was a bunch of stuff that happened. There was a bunch of effort plays that happened way before that Colin Gillespie game winner even hit. We talk about the Jordan Goodwin steal and bucket, and then the 3-point that he made, and then Colin Gillespie had the game winner. So I'm not going to really say it's luck there. And then on top of that, you played OKC close. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think anybody expected this game to be that close. I didn't. I'm not going to say I didn't expect it to be close, but I had my worries about this game. And the fact that we kept it close and the fact that we played them tough. And I mean, the way we defended SGA and the way we defended Chet Holmgren this game was a work of art, in my opinion. I thought Jordan Ott had a really, really good game plan for this team, and it almost worked out. I mean, you're just a few turnovers away, a few busted defensive opportunities for OKC to hit open threes away. Even Colin Gillespie there with, 12 seconds left, almost steals the ball from SGA, and there's almost a turnover there to give you another chance to close it out. So there was a ton of chances there. Your Suns made a lot of chances. You just didn't capitalize on a bunch of those chances. And so I'm not going to sit here and say it was a bad game. Like, your Suns played tough. And that's what more could you ask for, is for this team to play tough, especially against the defending NBA champions. Without Jalen Green, without Ryan Dunn, without Grayson Allen. And then toward the end of the game, you started seeing players get hurt like Jordan Goodwin and Gillespie. I'm thrilled that we played this game close. I'm thrilled that we made the cup. As I mentioned in the stream, we've been trying to make the cup for the last 2 seasons, and it hasn't worked out with Katie and Book, and it's worked out with this team.
Thank you for explaining that we did lose the last game that we played versus OKC, because I came in so hot and excited, hot and bothered. I'm over here acting like we won. We lost, but it felt like a win because we just had to keep it close, and we did. And I'm very proud. I won't let anyone take that away from me. I'm very proud that the Phoenix Suns kept it within 5 points, really did have a chance there. One last shot with that interception. If we could have just saved it to Mark and could have came down the court and who knows, maybe taken a really brave 3-pointer that they might have sunk, or maybe they go for 2. Either way, if the Suns were at full strength, if that's what they did, if that's the best they could muster with Jalen Green, Ryan Dunn, and Grayson Allen out there, and we'll even say Isaiah Livers for depth, if all those guys are healthy and playing versus OKC, and that's the best we can muster, yeah, I'm a little bit bummed out. But doing it without all of those guys, doing it with Colin Gillespie giving you his what seems like now regular 19 points a game, and Jamari Bouye coming in and kind of showing you, who might have been worried that I jinxed him with my last video, that no, I'm actually like that. A video jinxing from Gabe isn't going to touch me. I feel like, and I know it sounds cope, I know it sounds crazy to some people, it doesn't to me. I feel like that was the best loss we've ever had.
The best loss of the season, I'll be honest with you on that one. Like it's against the defending champs, and you played them tough in their arena. We can add that this wasn't a home game. You went there and you played them tough in their own home court.
Never quit.
Never quit. That's really all you can ask for, man. And again, we're gonna sound like a broken record, but we joked about the aligned statements that we've heard from Brian Gregory and Matt Ishbia. And Matt Ishbia said, hey, we're putting together a team that this city, that this fan base will be proud of. We're putting together a team that won't quit. We're going to put together a tough team that you're going to enjoy playing one way or another. And we kind of mocked them, but they actually did it, Gabe. They put together a team that you can be proud to watch. They put together a team that will play tough no matter what. They put together a team that seems to enjoy each other's company and play for each other. And yes, they are aligned. And I hate to say that, but they really did it. They really did. So you got to give the front office credit as well.
This video is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, FanDuel. Sundo and I will be using FanDuel Sports all season for every bet and parlay. And so should you. Sign up today and start winning money on the Suns. I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't mention Booker's woes, because they are seemingly not going anywhere. I mean, it feels like, 7-8 games in a row now that he's played below his great standard. I'll say it really quickly, man, because I said this in the stream a little bit. It used to be a common occurrence wondering if Devin Booker was the real deal or whether or not he was empty stats book. That all went away for me when the Suns went to the finals. He put back-to-back 40 burgers down against the Bucks, but pulled his hamstring and wasn't the same the rest of the way. I've seen personally enough from Book to know that he's the real deal. He just goes through stretches where he's cold, and then he goes through hot stretches and cold and hot. And hopefully he's healthy and in a hot streak during the playoffs. And if he is, he can take you nearly all the way. Where are you at right now with Book struggles?
I think I'm about 60-40 concerned, just 60-40. Teams are playing Booker a specific way. You saw it with the way OKC played them. When Booker got the ball, even on a pick and roll, they just said, hey, we're not going to switch and we're also going to double you. You're getting rid of the ball. If he brought the ball up the court, they said, hey, we're going to basically double you off rip. You're getting rid of the ball. The way teams are guarding Booker right now, because there's no Jalen Green and there's no other threat to drive and handle the rock right now. Threat, I say, because Colin Gillespie is, I believe, slowly becoming that other threat. Grayson or even Dylan Brooks. But right now, teams have decided, hey, we're going to make sure that Booker gets rid of the ball early and often, and he's going to work for it. So I'll give Booker a little bit of grace, especially after this OKC game. But again, my gripes about Booker are always going to remain the same, which is I just want you to be more efficient. When you get to that spot, take the jumper. Don't pass out of it. And also, I think we need to also come to the conclusion and the reality that Booker is not a three-point shooter like we thought or think he is. He has been putting up consistently 2 of 7s, 2 of 8s, 2 of 9s. And I just believe those type of shooting performances from the three-point stripe don't help. I think let your teammates do that because that's what they are here for. You do what you do best, and that is getting to your spot in the mid-range game and drain those and just be more efficient. If you can do that, I'll be happy with it. Now, that being said, foot and mouth, the way teams have been guarding him has been preventing him from doing that recently. And so we really have to wait and see. And I know fans don't want to hear the whole wait and see thing. At least in our community, there's a lot of complainers and a lot of people who are really harsh on Book. But again, we have to wait and see until Jalen Green gets here, what it looks like. And then we have to wait and see what happens when we get Grayson back and Dunn back and the rest of the team back at full strength to actually see what happens here. But as of now, the last few games, Booker has been guarded a specific way where he's been doubled or they've been wanting to get the ball out of his hands immediately. And it hasn't really helped. That's why he's been putting up a bunch of 19s, 18s, 17s, 21s, and he hasn't been putting up the 30s, the 25, the 30s like he was earlier this season.
Only other thing I want to say is I want to specify with the whole thought that Devin Booker isn't a three-point shooter like we thought. And I feel this very strongly. There's a difference between the type of threes that Devin Booker takes and the type of threes that Royce O'Neal takes. If Devin Booker was taking the type of threes that Royce does, or Dylan most of the time, standing at the three-point line, waiting relatively open, catching and shooting, I think Devin Booker is that 3-point champion that we saw when he won the 3-point contest. When Devin Booker is running full speed with a guy on his hip and having to pull up, knowing that someone is challenging from behind or from the side, and he's going full speed into a pound dribble into a long three on the move, that is a much higher difficulty shot. And I feel like some variation of that, moving, hand and face, not catch and shoot, is the type of threes that he takes. And I think that's what hurts his percentage.
Hey, that's fair enough. But then devil's advocate, if you see that, I see that, then coaches need to see that and they need to coach that out of him. Like, hey, that's not the shot you need to take. And he's taking more of those than I believe he should be. And that's just my only negative on Booker. I'm not here to be negative on Booker. I'm not here to bash Booker. And I'm not here to be like the people on our community. We're like, trade Booker. That's ridiculous, dude. The trade Booker talks are absolutely ridiculous. But he has not been as efficient this season. And I just would like him to be more efficient. And if he's more efficient, it helps the team out tremendously. So that's all I want to see.